Mission complete.
We're live here on the Reset Button, episode 6. How's it going, everybody? We are here. We're going to be discussing just a little bit of Disney, if that's okay with everybody here. And we've got more than just Disney, but that's what we're going to start off with. Before we get into the topics and the discussions, of course, we need to let everybody know who everybody is here. We have, first off, from the land of Canada, Mr. Johnny Chase.
That's me. And as pointed out in chat, yes, we are just on time. We're just on time. We are not late. We are not early. A streamer starts precisely what he means to.
Exactly. How could you guys ever think we're going to be late? Come on now.
And I just noticed that I am coming in blurry again. Did not see the thing we fixed yesterday or last week or 2 weeks ago?
It did fix before, and now it's betraying us again. So we apologize for the live version. Hey, audio folks, you'll be just fine. Lucky you. And of course, next we've got Liz.
And thank you guys, especially for those live coming in late. I had the opportunity to go see the Broadway musical version of The Little Mermaid, and it kind of like inspired my thoughts for today's show. So I'm very excited to go into this tonight.
Also, that's what that was. 'Cause I saw the tweet there, and I just I saw 30th and Little Mermaid. I was like, wait, are you going to just go see the movie, or?
Oh, so it wasn't just the movie?
I did see the new movie. No. I saw like the Broadway version of the play at one of our theaters, and we have like a pretty like big reputable theater in the area that has excellent Broadway programs, and it was phenomenal. And I'm always happy to go. I've never seen a bad show or like a mediocre show. They're always really, really good there.
Cool.
I guess to round this thing up real quick, who doesn't know who I am if you've been coming here forever? I'm Patrick. Hello, how's it going? I'm wearing a Mega Man shirt today, but we're not talking Mega Man. We're talking Disney.
I think that's a crossover.
It's technically, because like mid 80s, early 90s, if not all Disney games were published by Capcom, so
yeah,
you're close.
Basically, a lot of them,
including some Disney games I didn't even know about. So I actually brought some notes.
I'm so excited.
And that's what we're going to start with. I want to start, if we're going to talk about video games, I don't know a lot of Disney Atari 2600 games, so everybody come in, attack me.
Wait, there are Atari 2600 Disney games?
I don't know if there are.
Oh, okay.
I'm
not
sure.
There's a few licensed or unlicensed.
Okay, that's like if you're a fan of the 2600 and then they're like, oh, you didn't mention Mickey's magical mouse jumping game on the... Yeah. You're missing out. Like, we didn't know it's Atari 2600.
I guess the big question, because I don't know, that's part of the thing I didn't look up. When did Disney acquire Sesame Street? When did Sesame Street become a Disney property?
Wasn't that like with like their Muppet stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. Like the Muppets,
remember.
Everything like that.
I don't know, because that's a great area, because there is
sometime in the 90s.
There's a Christmas special that's never been released on Disney Plus or DVD or anything. It's like this super crossover between Sesame Street, the Muppets, and Fraggle Rock, where everyone goes to Fozzie's grandmother's house for Christmas. And like Jim Henson's there as a cameo at the end. That can never be released because of all the licensing. I don't think Disney owns Sesame Street. I think Sesame Street is still owned by PBS.
That stuff.
Well, that's
like,
interesting.
I feel like there has to have been like a crossover when they at least had like the Muppet like 3D show at Disney World. So I think that's probably like earlier in the relationship or crossover with those worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. I was going to say, if in the 80s, during Atari's era, if they had Sesame Street, then okay, I played like Cookie Monster was like the first video game I played, and that means it would have been a Disney game. But I don't think.
And then they
counts.
would have that weird number pad controller with Big Bird on it.
You know
I do
what's
remember
up.
that.
You know what's up. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
the big one that everybody remembers if you were an NES fan back in the day is the Disney Afternoon Collection, which, I mean, it's available. I don't know if it's a remake or remaster, but it is available on modern consoles today. They actually call it the Disney Afternoon Collection. That included DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin.
Yes.
And Chip and Dale 2 and DuckTales 2.
Yes, there were sequels for both of those. That was like the real big like home run hitter in terms of like different Disney games for the NES. And those were Capcom games. Big shock. And so Capcom just most of the time just made amazing stuff, no matter what they were messing with. Especially because Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, while it was like an adventure cartoon, what exactly is going to be happening in this? What could you do? And they turned it into, I think, one of the best platformers you could play on an NES. I haven't had a chance to really mess with the sequel. I think that's more Johnny's forte. How is the sequel?
Finding the sequel is so hard to. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, the sequel the sequel to both DuckTales and Chip and Dale play pretty identical, except for DuckTales 2. Like you do get a little bit more control with Scrooge McDuck's cane. You can use it to pull things, push things. More of a golf club swing mechanics are in there as well. But yeah, a whole lot of people played that because they released DuckTales 2 and Chip and Dale 2 in '93, right when the NES was ready to die out. So there was a very limited run done on them. So that's why they're like really, really, really expensive on the collector market. But they're all on the Disney Afternoon Collection, which as of recording, I think is on sale right now on Steam. Like if you want to get it on Steam, they're like really cheap.
Probably the best time to get it.
It does go on sale pretty frequently too. So
they do, on the other consoles too. They
It'll
go.
be on sale soon, I swear.
The funniest thing though is that all that Disney Afternoon Collection, they're all NES games. It's not on the Switch. That collection's not on the Switch, and I don't know why.
Isn't that the most bizarre thing you could think of?
Yeah.
Of all places,
I don't know,
you can't get those games.
Most likely downloaded on it.
Like I don't know if M2 just doesn't want to port it, or if it was like too late. But like every other collection's on there. I'm pretty sure that there's the other Disney collection that's like Lion King and Aladdin and Jungle Book. Those collections are on everything. And it's kind of weird with that collection too, because it's all the Virgin games and it's also the Capcom games. So like you can have like that internal discussion, that internal fight of which Aladdin is better, Genesis or Super Nintendo. Nintendo's the best.
We'll get there.
I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight everyone on SNES Aladdin.
This man's ready to go to war.
Oh my god, I'm terrified.
We have to go back to the very I don't know if this is the first Disney game, but when I was doing research, it was the earliest year I could find. Mickey Mousecapade, 1987 on the NES. No, that was a game I remember playing a hell of a lot as a kid. A friend had it, I didn't, but we would go over there and play it. And I think like, you ever had that era, like when you're really young, trying to figure out a game where you just like you're in dumb kid zone, you can't figure it out for the life of you. Yes. That was us with Mickey Mouse.
Let's see, Ghostbusters, Solar Jetman, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's like a ton. There's just like, why? Like I can't figure this out.
That was one that just I couldn't figure out. My friend was an older kid, and we sucked. We absolutely just sucked everything. Then you have some hidden gems that I don't think a lot of people thought would be all that great when you look at it on paper, but The Little Mermaid. That was a fantastic one.
Okay. So did you guys actually play the Little Mermaid NES game? Because I remember seeing advertisements, I think, for Little Mermaid at a point, but I have a very, I remember on like old Disney VHS tapes, starkly remembering a Pocahontas game. I mean, I think that was PC, and I really know nothing about it, and I have no clue. So if you guys can tell me about those games, those were not within my library as a child, and I just haven't had the chance to play them yet. Still,
I think it's you could call Little Mermaid a platformer, but it wasn't exactly a platformer because you're not jumping, you're more swimming.
It's in the water.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a swim and shoot is the best way you could say it. It's not a run and gun, it's a swim and shoot. And it was a really finely crafted swim and shoot at that. It was one that I think it was fair. It didn't have any cheap deaths or anything like that. And it was just, you took material like that where I don't think a lot of people were willing to give it a chance, because The Little Mermaid was like the ultimate little kids movie, but they crafted a great game out of it. So Capcom does it again.
My only complaint with Little Mermaid is it's way too short. Like, if you know the mechanics, you know how to play, you can beat it in under 20 minutes. It's that short.
And kind of going off the thought that you're just saying, Patrick, with like Little Mermaid kind of being like the kids game. The best part about like the whole Capcom era of the Disney games is that I think they had a really strong respect for pretty much all the things that they touched with these games. Of course, not every single game's perfect on the planet, just kind of how life is. But like they made a good effort trying with these games, which is like, again, even if it's kind of like a B or C grade game, it's not a terrible game whatsoever.
That's a fair assessment.
I find it hard pressed to find a Capcom Disney game that wasn't good. Maybe Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, if that's the right title. That's the one where you're going around the park and you're going through the rides there. I think that one's a little bit unfair, but
people say
actually, funny enough, it's actually the 30th anniversary of Goof Troop on Super Nintendo.
Oh, which is also
that
a great
one. That's
one.
like that one was like, it has nothing to do really with the show. You're just Goofy and Max, and you're going on a pirate island and solving puzzles, and like that's a great co-op game too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe Patrick should play that on his other channel.
On a place called Co-op Campus? What?
What?
That might be a great
like a
idea.
Game.
Wow.
Way.
I think we could actually do that. I think I might even have that in the collection. I need to check.
Yes.
It's getting to the point.
That hard to find. So if you don't have it, it shouldn't be too terrible to get.
I think like it's like a $15-$20 game max.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonably priced.
$15-$20 game max. Well, my name isn't Max, nor is it Goofy, but I appreciate that. Okay,
that game is amazing.
That was my one dad joke for the night. I'm good to go now. Some other obscure ones I found when I was looking into this is these I've never heard of in my fucking life. Mickey's, I think it was like Mickey's Numberland or Travel to Numberland and Letterland. It's like
edutainment's terrible.
Yeah, I knew that existed because there's a lot of Sesame Street edutainment games on the NES, which are actually good.
Bad.
I kid you not. Anybody who challenges that, you go check it out. They're actually decent.
Okay.
Mickey Numberland?
Let me challenge you really quickly. The Sesame Street umbrella. I'm going to challenge you with the Elmo's Alphabet game or whatever that was on N64. More closer to my generation, that game is total ass. That game sucks.
You just unlocked an old school Screw Attack memory of Chad. They played it on PlayStation 1. Chad got so pissed, ripped the CD out, snapped it in half. Like, do I have the right letter now, Elmo? It's like, Elmo, no!
Holy shit, dude.
So bad and he's so annoying. Like, I was a little too old for it when I discovered that game. But like my friends and I still played it because it was stupid and it's like, haha, we're older kids, tweens playing a children's game. It was so bad and annoying. It was just more annoying than anything.
You've got me triggered. I got to see if this still exists. Once again, that the channel is dead. It's renamed something else, but maybe it's still on there.
I've got to see
Fingers
that
crossed.
after this. I've got to. After the NES era, we moved on, and we still had awesome games in the Genesis and SNES era.
Hold on, we are not
teacher,
done
teacher,
with the NES era.
Oh,
What is wrong with you, Patrick?
uh-oh.
Okay, Patrick.
Hit me.
Johnny.
What you got?
I am shocked and appalled. No, this was the test. The test to see if you'd mention it. Okay? My favorite NES game is the Darkwing Duck game.
We did mention it.
We mentioned it in the Disney Afternoon
You said
Collection.
Darkwing Duck. You mentioned Tailspin. Not as good.
It's part of the Disney Afternoon Collection. DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue
you didn't
Ranger,
say
Darkwing Duck, and
You said
Tailspin.
I'm pretty sure we did.
You said everything. You said DuckTales, but not Darkwing Duck. You failed to mention it.
Okay,
I promise, I swear.
okay. Okay,
Let me just say, Darkwing
Duck.
Duck. Okay. Let me just have my moment. Okay, Darkwing Duck is basically if you combine DuckTales with Mega Man, and it's the shit. And it's probably one of the most rewarding NES games that I ever played and beat in my life. And if you haven't played it or completed it, you need to do it. And it's fair. And
I
it's a
can't
little
disagree.
hard, but it's great.
I'm pretty sure I
The
have
game's
that on
amazing.
Game Boy.
You on Game Boy?
Yeah, Capcom ported a lot of those games to
Yeah.
Game Boy. They're basically like the
Dude.
same thing.
Dude, when I learned that
I
there was
don't
the
know, man.
DuckTales game when I was in high school, I found it on Game Boy because I couldn't find it on NES. And literally, in my high school, we had an option of we had so many choices for gym class. So when I really wanted to play DuckTales, I would literally go on the stupid stationary bike for 45 minutes. And the gym teachers go around checking your pulse, or else you won't get credit and you'll fail gym class. It's really upsetting. So I would haul ass trying to beat DuckTales in a half-hour time period while hauling ass and getting to my target heart rate. You guys don't even know. That game was even more intense with actual exercise.
Man, all we got in gym class when I was in school was somebody throw a dodgeball at your head.
I mean, you could do that too, but I got to play video games and I justified it because I was working out.
I think that's a perfect justification, actually.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so upset you guys glossed over Darkwing Duck. That's all.
Oh, exercise games. Where the fuck is my Punch-Out game where I'm the guy on the bike and Mac has to chase me? Where is it? That's all I want to know.
Oh, wow. Silent Hero coming in with a clutch there. Archive.org? That's on... Oh, that must have been... If it's on archive.org, it got nuked off of the internet then. Can't believe that.
Way to
I'm
obtain
pretty
that
sure we
video.
made a highlight of that. Oh, well.
Oh, so
So
if it's on archive, does that mean you can't access it anymore ever again?
No, it just means it's there.
Oh, it's only on
it's
archive.
Not, yeah, it's not in another attainable place there.
That's rough.
Sorry, I'm going through my binder of Game Boy games.
I was
keep
curious
them
what
in
was
the,
happening.
This is some sick
I have them,
ASMR for all the
sorry.
listeners.
I have them in a big ring binder. I use trading card holders to hold the Game Boy games in, and then for my advanced games, I use business card holders for my physical
Save on
collection.
space.
Yeah.
Squeeze them in.
So yeah, if you like,
You're a fucking
I
genius. What?
That's great.
I picked that up from resellers, at conventions. I want to go through their Game Boy games, and they just have a binder. They're just yeah, go nuts, flip through it, pull a game out, see if I want it. But yeah, I do
never
have.
even thought of that.
I do have Darkwing Duck on Game Boy.
Yay!
Do you have them?
Okay.
And I also have
Johnny's a champ.
DuckTales 2 on Game Boy.
Yes.
Which I don't think
Oh
it
my
is
God.
Exact 1-to-1 from the NES. I have to play it to find out again.
Chase
But,
or anything.
this one, no. This one, the Game Boy one is actually a little bit easier to find than the NES one, so it's not worth a whole lot. I just found that it's not Capcom, but I actually have a Game Boy Color copy of Beauty and the Beast. Camera could focus, please.
Oh, That's cool. So hold on. Okay, I'm so sorry, Patrick. I don't mean to hijack. So I do have like hashtag trigger warning. No, not actually. It's like a internalized trigger warning for myself. So DuckTales 2. So like 10 years ago, my ex and I used to do a lot of retro game hunting. Okay, and we got into this spat with somebody on Reddit that we totally knew lived locally because he would show receipts. Or we would see certain games at very specific prices at like half price books in certain stores and all the like secondhand shops and pawn shops. Like we could tell where this guy was going. And then there was one day that we actually met this guy. And I swear to God, he looks like a real life Bob's Burgers character. Like that's what this super nerd looks like. I'm not joking. And then at one point, the Goodwill that was literally like 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk from my house. They had DuckTales 2 at the Goodwill.
Fucking what?
10 minutes from my house for like $5. And I never saw that guy again in real life, but if I saw him, like I swear to God, I probably would have mugged him. I'm not joking. It was literally like the most evil and most tormenting thing on the planet because this guy was totally like adding us. Like he was like subtweeting us, but like in real life, like he was like totally trolling us online. It was literally the worst thing ever. It was painful.
In all my time of collecting, which I would say hasn't been that super long. Plenty of people have been doing it longer than me. I'm sure Johnny has been doing it longer than me, but no one has ever like taunted me online when they got a better deal.
No,
holy
it's like
shit,
this is the fucking Goodwill I went to. Like it was like the Goodwill next to the GameStop that I worked at that time. And I'd go there like every other day. And like, I don't care if this Goodwill smells like piss. I go in there looking for stupid shit that they put on the shelf. And of course, the one day that like I didn't go, this fucker got this game for like $5.
Oh my God.
So, okay, sorry. It was very upsetting. I'm still upset. I'll never have this game.
I have to hijack your hijack. I have to. First time, everybody watching live and listening, I have to hijack a hijack. I just have to. So, best Goodwill finds that you didn't expect to run into. I gotta know. Because mine is the wife and I just walked into local Goodwill, and we were just going to browse, see what was going on, you know, the usual whatever. And we see this this little case. It looks like it's for a Game Boy. We open that thing up. It ends up being like a Game Boy Color, like all these additional accessories, like a light that you could attach to it and everything else. Got that for like $10, and I think the total value ended up being $140. That was,
my God,
that was pretty fucking solid to just wander in there in the Goodwill one day, just, you know, on your own and just saying, hey, what you got, guys? $140 Game Boy system for what, $10? Yeah, sure.
Dude, amazing. I'm proud. That's awesome. I'm so happy.
I can show you mine right now. So it just came to mind while we were talking about it. Well, not a Goodwill. I'll tell two of them. There was a pawn shop that was opening up, a brand new one, and to kind of boost sales, they went and bought
I know what
box of they bought a box of NES games, and then they start price charting them, and they go like, oh man, a lot of people pay a lot of money for these games. They had Chippendale 2, but they thought it was Chippendale 1, so mispriced it. It was $25, and I just went, I'll take that.
Shut up.
They never realized that they had a $200 game in their possession.
I knew that story the moment
I didn't tell. Normally, like if people are nice enough, I will tell them. It's like, this is what it's really worth. Here's what I will give you for it. But I mean, if you want to try and resell it for that, obviously, you know, go for it. But the way that they were talking, I overheard them. I'm just like, nah, I'm fucking scamming you.
Dude, if they're scummy sellers, I don't feel bad.
I don't own it anymore because like my NES, SNES, and Genesis collection are all gone because we needed money, and yeah, hey, that one game paid for a couple weeks worth of groceries, so I'm happy to have sold it. But my best like thrift store find was this right here. Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro.
Ooh.
And I believe because they priced this as a CD, I got it for like $1.99. But the cool thing about this is that someone had left Spider-Man 1 in there. So I have both of them on PS1. So
dude, that's like a double dipper.
yeah, that's why you always check the cases. And that's why you always go through all the CD racks, because sometimes, you know, I mean, they're a little bit more wiser to it now, because I swear to God, some of these people at Goodwills and Salvation Armies watch, you know, Retro Hunters or Game Chasers or like any other show of people like going in and filming themselves catching video games. They're like, we could be sitting on a lot of money. We should actually like look at these things and price them right.
Well, I know that they now have a new internal policy where, like, any electronics like that, they're supposed to pull and have, like, some internal folks who know what they're doing look at it and price it.
Okay.
And they put them on, like, their own little eBay, like, Goodwill bidding site, too.
I hate
exactly.
that.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, there are legitimately good deals, but most of the time people just wind up. Like people are so wise to it and, like, bid, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, they really killed the fun that we all used to have with that.
Yeah.
But I almost had a copy of Chip and Dale 2. I had to pass on it because, well, I mean, the guy was completely upfront and honest, because he told me the label was a repro, because the original label was like destroyed. But he still wanted like a 120, and I was broke as fuck at that time. I was like, oh man, damn it, I want that, but I can't. Yeah.
And then you think about how much more it really is, and it's like, I still don't have the money for the lesser copy, you know, like the less costing copy. It sucks when you're in that situation.
Oh, it's even worse when I can say with a straight face that I used to have a copy of Earthbound on SNES. I had to sell it. I had to sell it. It was that or get evicted. That was the choice.
I mean, I feel like that was worth it. I mean, you have a home. You had a home to still live in, so it's okay. You gotta make sacrifices, and like, don't even feel bad. There's a million ways to play a ton of old games, even if you don't like physically own it. So don't even. It's okay.
Yeah. I guess the most interesting part about that is I'm not gonna say any of the people who reached out to me, but some people, some somewhat internet famous people reached out to me to see if they could buy that copy, but they were wanting it to be complete inbox, and the price they were wanting for the complete inbox was completely unreasonable.
No.
Because I said how much I was selling it for, and then they reached out and said, hey man, is that complete inbox? Fucking no, not for that price.
Do we want to spell tea?
No.
Do we want to drop names?
No.
No.
I don't want to make them look that dumb.
No. It's okay.
I'll tell
even
you
if you said it, even if you said like it's a particular nerd that's angry at certain video games, that's still like there's like thousands of people.
No,
like that.
No, that's not fair.
No, I mean like it's not outright saying it without saying it, but like there's so many copycats. It's like, well, is it? No, I mean there's several other people that do that. So
true.
Yeah, we went off on a tangent there. We're
so
all about Disney games.
Patrick, before I pulled the magic carpet beneath your feet, would you please proceed?
Nice recovery.
Excellent. That is some good. That's like some Smash Bros level recovery there. Good job. Dad joke number 2 of the night. All right, going into the Genesis and SNES era, there's no way I could have written out everything, guys. It's impossible because like you went from the NES had a pretty big library, but yeah, in terms of like this IP, that IP, I don't think it went as in depth as when you went into like the Genesis and SNES era. That's when it went nuts. But the two I can remember because played the hell out of it with my friends when I was a kid was one, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse on Sega Genesis, and the follow-up sequel, World of Illusion. See, World of Illusion.
I haven't played those, so tell me.
Oh shit! Castle of Illusion was a badass platformer with Mickey. Had some really cool bosses, a lot of fun. And then World of Illusion was even better because it took that premise, the one that they already pretty much, I wouldn't say perfected, but it was really, really good. And they turned it into co-op. Player 2 was Donald. And there was stuff like, I think there was a part where there was like flying carpets and all sorts of wild stuff. There was a castle that you had to storm at the end of it. It was good stuff. So if anybody hasn't played those yet, get it digitally, because Castle of Illusion is expensive, and I haven't even looked at World.
Yeah, and I think
also
Japan has
at some point.
Yes, there is a Castle.
Yeah, they had a 3D remake not too long ago, which I don't know if this is available anymore. I think it got delisted, then got relisted, because maybe they bought the rights back there. I can't remember.
I know I can still download it on my PS3. I don't know what that means. Anybody else who's gotten it would be able to, but I know I can.
Because I think I did get it on like the PlayStation 3 era console. So I do think I think I got it for free or like super cheap, but I just never played it. So I have no idea. But thank you. Thank you.
So I want to see it's backwards compatible on the Xbox. I'm gonna take a look.
Perhaps.
Yeah, and Johnny, I'm sorry. Where were you going?
Oh, so yeah, the Castle Illusion games, there's like a ton of sequels on Genesis and Super Nintendo in Japan only. They never got here.
Ooh.
And I always wanted to check those out as well. I've never played Castle Illusion, but I've always wanted to check it out.
They're not text-heavy games, right? Like you could just like play it even if you don't know Japanese, for example, right?
I think so. I think it's one of those ones where it's like, I mean, a platformer really doesn't have a whole lot of text or story to it. It's just get from A to B, right? So I would imagine they're pretty easy to play.
No, there's not a lot of text in those. It starts up with the story, but once you get moving with everything, you don't really have like anything else to really worry about. It's just gameplay at that point. But for anybody who's not wanting to play the remake and you want to play the original and you want the actual hardware, I think Castle goes for $55 right now. And then World,
too much.
I would imagine it's going to be more. Yeah, I imagine that's going to just be more because it was superior to players. Unless it just sold like hotcakes and there's 1,000 copies everywhere. But
check out the Microsoft Store. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse is still available. $15.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Okay,
hop on that.
At least get on that. At least you can still get on Xbox.
There you go. The other one.
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, on the Super Nintendo era, I didn't play too many. Like Super Nintendo Genesis era, I didn't play too many Disney games. So all I can remember as a child was the hell of playing the Lion King game on Genesis. And that game was so hard. And I bought that pack with Aladdin and Lion King in it like a couple of years ago on Black Friday. And I tried playing the first 2 levels on that, and I like noped out really fast. And I don't even like am I being a wuss?
No, it's not just you. Those games, the Lion King on both platforms is notorious for being hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad. I think when we were children, though, I think my brother powered through and did get to Mufasa one day, but he could not beat it. And I'm like, my mind's blown thinking, like, my brother is 6 years older than me, so he definitely has the advantage of being much older playing it. However, I also played the Jungle Book game, but I never owned it, and my cousins did. And that's another game that's a hard nope for me. And I don't think I can get past like stage 3 in that. And I feel very like set off by snakes in that game. For some reason, snakes are like my hell and porcupines. And at least like the Lion King game, I think it's still fun. But the Jungle Book game became not fun. Like, I think it was unfair.
I didn't really play much of the Jungle Book game. I just remember that was like in the old Blockbuster kiosk that they like set up for you to check out the latest games coming out. They had the Jungle Book in there. And I just remember hearing like 16-bit bare necessities forever and ever ever and ever.
It's like you're gonna die, but it's one of those songs that just plays on loop, and it's not even music, it's just noise. that's what that game is. It's bare necessities, but all noise.
Well, I couldn't forget about my worries or my stripe. That was fucking awful. Number three for the
I
night.
really used the soundboard, but do I have a boo on here? I don't think I do. I don't think our soundboard's working anyway, so I realize you get a boo on there.
But let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, and we're gonna trigger Johnny. We're gonna trigger Johnny here.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight now.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. So Aladdin on SNES. Why? You gotta tell us.
It just controls better. It in my opinion, it looks better. Okay, I get that with Virgin Games, like they had that cool technology where they actually like hand drew Aladdin and all the other sprites and then put it into a computer and made it digitized to make it look cool. But like, I find that that's like the biggest argument for why people like the Genesis version over the Super Nintendo. It's like, well, Aladdin has a sword. It's like, he didn't have a sword in the movie. In the movie, he was like, you know, if he was getting away from the guards, he was doing all acrobatics and shit. I don't know. I like the level structure and everything better in the SNES version versus the Genesis version. I have played a bit of the Genesis version. I mean, it's okay, but like my heart, like I was never a Genesis kid. I was always a Super Nintendo kid, so my heart's always on to the Super Nintendo version.
Honestly, everyone just talks about the sound quality being better in the Genesis version. I think that's the one that has the better music, right?
That's debatable.
I can't remember.
I sometimes
that.
Depending on who develops the games for it, I find that Genesis soundtracks is like nails on a chalkboard.
I've never found Genesis games to have better audio.
With the exception of like Sonic and whatever Konami would put in, like Contra or Castlevania Bloodlines, like they knew how to pump good music out of that sound chip, but everything else is just like
crunchy.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Anyone?
Like, that was decent. Music of that
so
decent.
I'm probably confusing that the Super Nintendo version had the better sound and the Genesis had the better graphics. Am I right? Because I never played that and I still haven't. But I'm really curious like which version they have on like the remastered pack. So, or if there's an option to switch between the two. I'm really curious about that.
At first, it was just the Virgin games. So it was just the Genesis. There was actually they actually made a version for Game Boy. But they since got the Jungle Book games on there, and they've also got the Capcom Aladdin games on there as well. So both versions are on there. You got to get the whole collection.
Because I have the physical, and maybe there might be like a patch or an update if they do change their mind. If they want to give me a freebie.
I think if you have the physical, they give you the upgrade.
Okay.
I think. I know. I have to look in and read in on that.
Yeah, I'd have to research that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then, another one that I was curious about, Johnny. You showed your Game Boy one, and I think it's on Super Nintendo. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how does one play the Beauty and the Beast game? I have no idea how they format that. In my ideal world, Beauty and the Beast needs to be some sort of like dating sim type of game, romance game. Please someone tell me that's what it is.
I can't remember this one. This one has a small title on it, and I can't read because my eyesight is terrible, and I'm getting glasses soon probably. Library card. Oh, this one's like a card game. The one that's on Super Nintendo, and I think it's Beauty and the Beast is on NES in PAL regions, is a side scroller. You play as Beast going through the castle.
Oh.
I can't get very far on that because it's yeah.
I mean, I guess if I haven't heard much about it and people don't talk about it, it's not that remarkable, right?
Probably not, because I rarely hear anybody make any sort of mention about that game. And to the point where I'd honestly forgotten about it until it was brought up here. So I don't think it's all that big of a thing.
Not all that hot. But okay. So before we depart from like the Super Nintendo era, and I highly recommend you guys play it if you haven't. And this is actually one of the good games that I played as a kid, and that I played it like years later as an adult, and I finally beat it. but the Mickey Mania game on Super Nintendo is phenomenal. And the whole concept of this game is like, I can't remember like the exact story, but every single level is you playing as Mickey, and you're going through all of the different Mickey Mouse shorts. So you start off with like Steamboat Willie, and then you go forward to like the little haunted mansion kind of level with the ghosties, and then you go to like the Mad Dr. Lab, and then you like, it's so cool. That game is legitimately really, really good. There's like a sick ass Jack and the Beanstalk level, and it just all really culminates to like a really fun ending and like defeating Pete. And that game is really, really good side scroller, and I think it's genuinely fair but challenging still.
Yeah,
I have seen
it's excellent.
I have seen stuff about that. It looks good, and I think like they made a Sega CD version, and that one looks even better.
Really?
Yeah, I think they added like, it's like, you know, a couple extra levels, more frames of animation. I think there's like was watching someone do a comparison, but like the spiral level, for some reason the Super Nintendo is the only one that could get that level right. But yeah, I hear the Sega CD one's really good too.
Like, that game already looks really, really good on Super Nintendo, and they do some like 3D graphics too. Like you're saying, like there's like the spiral level where like you're climbing up like a castle, and like the spire turns on the screen for the platforming, and there's like another like rolling hill kind of level. So like that game was really cool and kind of mixed different media as well.
I think the last one we should probably mention before moving on to the next that we hadn't mentioned. I don't know who all is super familiar with this one. Maybe you all in chat will be, but let me pull this up here. It is the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. That was a Super Nintendo game that, Mickey could gather different power-ups, and like he could become like a firefighter or do different things like that, and it really made a very unique gameplay experience all throughout it. It's one that I remember finishing. You were saying,
I think that was
that game.
I think that was the one that had there's like 2 sequels to that in Japan. So they made 2 sequels to that game that they're only available on the Super Famicom.
Oh, really? I'm importing that shit.
You probably could get it for a cheap price because Super Famicom games are not really expensive.
No, they're not. That's why I have Rockman Soccer instead of Mega Man Soccer. Because actually, one was cheaper.
On a side, do you happen to own a Retron 5?
I do not.
Ooh, I used to.
Okay. If you have a Retron 5, you can actually put translation packs on an SD card and like convert them to like English. So like if you have ever wanted to like play Chrono Trigger on like real hardware but don't want to pay whatever the North American prices are, Japanese version of Chrono Trigger is way cheaper.
It is. So definitely do that, everybody out there, if you want Chrono Trigger. This is the part where I confess I have 2 copies of Chrono Trigger for SNES, and then I have one for Super Famicom.
Wow.
I wonder who's a super fan.
I kind of like it. I'm sorry, it's really good. And Chrono Cross, no. That's what I'm gonna say before we move on to the next one. I don't want to get in trouble. You know, for the interest of time, I think we're gonna go ahead and skip the PS1/N64 era, unless you all have some ones you really need to talk about. Because there's a game that we need to mention.
I skipped out on that gen.
Okay, Liz is having a meltdown. What's up, Liz?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a game. I don't remember the name of it, okay? But probably my finest tween-age memories. And I remember having a birthday party where the main focus was playing this game, maybe when I was like 11 or 12, okay? So one of my best friends during like this era is a huge Disney person. Like she like almost lives in Disney World right now. She's in that area, and that's her whole life, okay? And she brought over this clearly meant for like little children game. And it's super weird. I don't remember what it's called, and somebody can figure it out for me. But it's like a little house simulator where it's like, I got a house, and you just interact with things and nothing happens. It's just like a little animations. And we basically played this whole game pretending that like Mickey was like your stalking neighbor, because you could just be in your house and like decorating little cakes and like cleaning your house, and then Mickey Mouse will just literally pop out of your window. He'll practically pop out of the cabinet, and he was so creepy. And like we had special events to play this stupid fucking game.
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
Is it on PlayStation?
It was so scary.
I know what you're talking about.
And like I played this game so much, even though we were probably like 7 or 8 years older than the intended demographic, but I legitimately had sleepover parties with my girlfriends to play this game and just cringe and like freak out, and like we would cry from laughing.
It is some straight up cringe shit. Like
It's
you make
so
a cake
bad.
and they're just like peeking out in the window like, hey, I see you got a
It's
cake
so
there.
creepy.
Is it a PlayStation 1 game?
It's got to be
Okay, 'cause
PS1 and PC.
Because I'm pretty sure that's something that maybe I seen Cat Icarus review, because he's done a series where he's reviewed old Disney games on his YouTube channel, so I'm pretty sure that's on there.
Wow. Yeah, that's one that everybody should talk about, because it's that fucked up. It really is. Like
It's so bad.
I know what they were going for, because you're trying to make something for little kids, but it ain't like that, man. That's not the way you do it.
And then also, hold on, I can make this really quick, Patrick. Other piece of shit games. Okay. I had this really terrible Winnie the Pooh game on Game Boy Color, I think. And I felt like this whole game was talking down to me, even though I was the intended audience playing this game. I hated this game, but I still played it because I had only so many games. I was tired of Pokemon. I guess I'll play Winnie the Pooh now. And then there was also a Bug's Tale game on N64, and that was a game that I forced my mother to buy me a memory card, because this was the only game I had that needed a memory card. And I can't remember if there's codes or not. And then I like remember like hating my life because I think I had Toy Story 2 on Game Boy, and that game was a piece of shit. And that's it. They're awful games, don't play them.
I don't think any of the Toy Story games were really all that good. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
All I remember is people actually saying Toy Story 3 on PS360 was like okay. That's all I remember. It had
That's
really good
way
reception
past there.
for it.
That's what I
Give 'em a
remember.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the old ones are like not good, and it's surprising because Toy Story is like one of the best in like the Pixar world.
The reason why we got to jump to the PS2 and Xbox and everything like that era, guys, I think everybody knows, right? Do I have to say it? Do I have to?
No.
I mean, we're
We
going
don't
to talk
need
about
it.
Kingdom
It's not
Hearts.
good. No.
I don't think I have enough time to talk about Kingdom Hearts.
We have to at least bring it up and talk about it as much as we can, because by God, what would we be thinking about in terms of like Disney crossover with any fucking thing if it wasn't for Kingdom Hearts? It's the one thing that like won't go away. It'll never die. It'll never die. I promise you that.
Oh, hold on. Adding to my garbage dog shit list. So we got Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, and we have the other game. I don't remember the Mickey game and Kingdom Hearts.
Of course, it was the giant as fuck crossover between Square Enix and Disney that created an action RPG featuring Disney characters, along with Sora, original character created for the game. And that's about all I can tell you, because everybody keeps telling me it has a very intricate story, and I've looked to it. I don't know what's going on, and I never will. I just enjoy the games.
So when it comes to the actual games, Kingdom Hearts 1 has like an interesting story, because there's a lot of intrigue and build up to like figuring out what is Kingdom Hearts and what the hell's going on with Mickey. Where's Riku, my boyfriend? And we don't care about Kairi. But But then Kingdom Hearts 2 has absolutely phenomenal gameplay, and it has a great ratio of like mini games and little side things and a lot of good challenges. But then like it's kind of like playing Metal Gear Solid 2 and you have fucking Raiden. Like, okay, bad start to a game.
It's the reverse. You start off with Raiden, then you get back to Snake.
How different a world that would be if that's what happened.
But like it's like frustrating because like I really love the premise of the first game, but it is a little janky going back to it, even with the remastered versions. And then 2 just like ups almost everything, but then that's like where they like shake shit up, and I noped out really hard at that point.
The nobodies and then you get Birth by Sleep, where it's like the prequel, and like all of a sudden Luke Skywalker's there, and the bad guy is Spock, and what's her name is oh god, they get so many like celebrity cameos in there. And then like all of a sudden, like in the third game, there's like no Final Fantasy characters at all. It's just like my one hope for the fourth game is that I know like Disney's like they have to kind of build up new stuff, new worlds for Sora to explore in the Disney realms. But it's like, but can we just kick the gummy ship, veer it off to the left, and just land in Midgard?
Oh, I hate the gummy ship. Oh, the pain.
Ooh,
I don't mind it, and I
don't mind it.
I think it's funny how people have like there's a version of it in Kingdom Hearts 2. If you just make like a square and put the cockpit up there, you never get hit. You just coast to the whole thing and never get hit.
Oh, I love it. Kingdom Hearts 4 be part of the MCU. Yes.
Okay, hold on. This is a very important question. Who's better, Donald or Goofy in your party?
Donald. Always Donald. He's like the king mate. Goofy's just there to just push shit and go boil.
Yeah, but Donald dies like every 2 damn seconds, no matter how much you buff him.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, but that is true.
Seconds. I just leave him dead. It's not worth my time. Yes, I'll put whatever I need to level up and invest in him, but he goes nowhere. So it's just me and honestly, Goofy, despite how annoying he is, let me just say, he's got Goof Troop on his side, and he's like the best like non-summon character in the game to play with. So
in the second game, he gets taken out by a rock. And everyone thinks he's dead, and everyone goes Super Saiyan, and then he just shows back up, and we're like, Goofy, I thought you were dead. Nope.
This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, how am I or any other rational person, I mean, I'm not a rational person, I don't think, but, you know, most rational people understand what the fuck is going on in this series. Like, you can follow it pretty okay for the most part with the first game. After that, everything goes completely crack smoking off the rails, and it never makes sense again. Please, someone help me. I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, Patrick, don't worry about the story. So, despite my like Kingdom Hearts being my favorite game to hate in the world, it's my least favorite game. I don't know how to say it. The best thing that could spawn from Kingdom Hearts. Don't worry about the mainline story. Just read the fan fiction. And that's all you need.
I don't think I can be scarred that much.
Oh my god, hold on. Okay. I hope people give us feedback and live or post. Could we do like a video game fan fiction reading day?
Oh god, you all want me to read
as
fan fictions?
I can do it with a straight face.
I have one request / demand. No Sonic High School. No.
That's fine. It's we gotta
I've read
like
that.
the obscure ones. It's literally the best.
Yeah, if it involves like the world ending because of Sonic's balls, I'm done.
Oh, you guys, we could read the Super Smash Brothers fanfiction, which had like hundreds of chapters. I can't remember if it's been finished or not yet, but like this person's literally been writing a Smash fanfiction for like 10 years plus. Insane. Like, they're not joking writing this.
Holy shit, man.
Some people in our chat remember when I read Sonic High during a Game Days for Good stream. No.
Oh, I remember.
No.
I remember. And that's why I just said, if we gotta do that again,
lots of gamer words, and when he gave editors notes, he was like, "Oh man, that was just my edgy phase when I was 14 in high school." I'm like, no.
Okay,
clearly.
My only request is, if we read a video game fan fiction out loud, is that we are not here to laugh. We are here to read and articulate and perform as written on paper.
So grammar mistakes and all.
Yes, grammar mistakes and all.
I was just like, wait, there's supposed to be an and in here. Like, wait. Brain breaking.
I would suggest that you practice before we start.
So if anybody's wanting us to have like a very serious reading of the fanfic, definitely let us know. That might even be a little nice extra somewhere when we start things. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what we could do. I don't know what we're going to do. It's a little frightening, to be honest.
I'm full of terrible ideas, everyone.
I think the final two things that we've got to mention about Kingdom Hearts, because as was stated, if we dive into that, we're going to be here all fucking night. And this is a 1 hour show, I'd like to remind everyone.
Yeah.
First off, we got to remember that ending theme. Simple and clean. Everybody remembers it.
When you walk away. I'm not going to sing it.
No, we'll probably get content ID match.
Yes. We got to remember that. And then it's been forever since I finished the game. But I was watching streamer Chilled Chaos finish shit for his birthday. And then what the boss keeps saying at the end is interesting. If anybody in the chat, you remember what he says over and over and over. Does anybody here remember it? Do I have to say it?
Tell us.
Come, Guardian. It sounds really bad. And he says it over and over and over. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with that either. It's a weird game. It's a weird series. But it's also a lot of fun. Are you okay, Liz?
But it's a game theory. That was my mom joke of the night.
Well.
So, can we mention a couple other honorable stinkers on the PS2 era?
I demand it.
Okay.
So, the first time in my life that I tried to destroy a video game, and this was pre-Shaq Fu era moment in my life, is I remember playing the Finding Nemo game that my friend had on PS2, and we hated it. Again, this is a lot of like my tween era. Like, let me just make this really clear. I'm not prone to doing this these days, but we tried so hard to break the Finding Nemo game on PS2.
What?
And like we went to our friends, like we went to her dad's tool chest and tried to like scratch the shit out of it, and like we tried to break it in half, and for some reason we could not break a PS2 disc, and the game somehow still kind of worked. I don't know why we had it out for Nemo that one time, and like we played it once and we were like, what the fuck?
Of all games to be angry at and want to break.
And then I also, another triggering memory. So this is kind of like a really bad game studio, but I wasn't really close friends with this person, but when I was like 10, 11, again, tween era, one of my friends was like, oh yeah, my dad makes video games, and she would lie saying that like I have a Game Boy, a rainbow GameCube, blah blah blah. And then I like went over to her house once, and I just wanted to like go to her house to meet her dad because he made video games. And he's like, yeah. He was like boasting about like, yeah, I make video games. I made the Haunted Mansion game, and I never bought this game, and I picked that game up once, or like someone had it, and it was a piece of shit. I feel like I've had a lot more bad Disney games than good Disney games in my life. Like, as a child, not an adult.
Just out of curiosity, when he said he made the game, is he saying like he was the only fucking person on it, or what?
Okay.
What was his purpose? What did he do?
He's talking to children, and he's like, "Yeah, I help, this is my job. I make video games. I made this game." Like, not him alone, but like, there was a studio somewhere in Illinois that made this game. And
okay, I was about to say, what is his name? Masahiro Sakurai. No, the only person that ever made Smash Brothers ever wasn't like a team of 500 people that made Smash.
Oh wait, a studio in Illinois? Was it fucking Midway?
No, not Midway. I don't know. But the redemption arc of the story was, despite her dad making a piece of shit game and like her bragging about it. I mean, like, that's what kids do. I'm not, as a kid, that's cool, okay? But I'm like, this game sucks. They did let me borrow their Final Fantasy VII copy, and I never returned it. And it was her dad's copy. He played real games, and they also took my Dark Cloud 2 and lost the manual. I will never forget this, but at least I had their Final Fantasy VII complete box. Shit. Black label when I was a kid. So I have a lot of sour like Disney childhood stories. I'm so sorry, everyone, to be a downer.
That'll be a really good topic for another time. Games that you let someone borrow and they never returned, or someone stole, or just something to just really fuck your day up like that. I think that'd be a good topic. We can all rage together. It'll be a nice therapy session. Well, I think we're unfortunately out of time. Everybody, we did have another topic. We just never got to it. I guess we'll try to get to it another time.
We could fill the hour. You were that.
Oh, yeah. That has nothing to do with Cap here.
Oh, he's
nothing
so
at
cute.
all. Oh, we'll definitely talk about Toys to Life at some point in the future. Just not Disco, because we've hit our 1 hour mark and it's getting awfully late. We need to go ahead and say goodbye, good night. We hope everybody enjoyed.
One more game. I would love to talk about real quick.
We're going into overtime.
I would say if there's one underrated game Disney related that a lot of people should look up and play, Tron Evolution. It was a prequel based on Tron Legacy. It's a great action adventure game. By a great studio that unfortunately got shut down as they were working on another they were working on a Pirates of the Caribbean game, and then the whole thing just went gone. But yeah, that's like what a hidden gem of mine. Go seek out Tron Evolution. It's on 360 and PS3.
Nice. Liz?
Like a good game. Like, people would buy it and be like surprised.
Yeah.
That game was good. Yeah. And then one more bad game. Do not play the Disney Magical Kingdom games on 3DS. Don't play it when you're sad or depressed, because it's like eating gruel, where it's like, yes, I am satiated and I'm eating, but is it good food? Don't do it. I lost my life to that game for like a month, and I can never get that back.
God, that sounds awful.
It's so dumb. And that's why I will not play the new Disney MMORPG stupid cell phone game that they're selling for $30 on Switch or whatever.
Dreamlight Valley?
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that. I'm traumatized from the 3DS precursors to that.
That is my wife's jam right now. That's her comfort game. That's what she plays all the time. And whenever she unlocks a new Disney character comes in, she cries a little. If you don't want to be emotionally damaged, yeah, you should play Dreamlight. It's cool. If you like Animal Crossing and want a Disney theme to it, it's good. She likes it.
Now I want to play it.
No, don't.
I love Animal Crossing.
No, don't. It's a mobile app game that they're selling for way too much.
It is on. She didn't even pay money for it. It's on Xbox Game Pass.
There we go. It's on Game Pass. I'd much rather try it there and not have. I mean, it sucks that it's not on the go. Which I guess it could be if you have it on Game Pass on like mobile, but It probably wouldn't be the same experience, but free is free. I would try it there first.
That's fine. Don't spend money though. Don't. Disney does not need any more money. Okay, just don't do it.
Well, that's going to be the show before Disney buys us. I'm sure we're next on the list.
Actually, I would sell out because they'd pay a lot because we're amazing.
Exactly. This will be the Disney Presents the Reset Button next week. Or 2 weeks from now, actually. We hope to see you there. We'll all be wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Disney Plus series.
I'm gonna go buy Mickey Mouse clips for my headset right now.
Exactly.
We'll have that in front of me, but they're somewhere.
All right, Masketeers, do you know the cheer? Because I sure don't.
I don't know.
K-E-Y.
Oh man, I got to M-U-S-E. All right, that was for you all. That's gonna be this edition of the Reset Button. We'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. We love you. We're gonna be bought by Disney. Who knows if they'll let us come back? We hope. Please say good things about us to the mouse. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Reset Button. If you like the podcast, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated whenever there's a new episode or various clips that we produce. We appreciate all your support.